everyone. Welcome to our Moody Talk. This week we're talking about fear because it's spooky season. And last week we talked about the different words that we can use to describe fear and being scared, and a scale of what are the ones that are on the low side of feeling scared, and then what makes you feel really, really, really scared. The word that you would use to say that you're really fearful. So, everybody has different ideas of those words and how they fit into the scale of that emotion, that one being fear this time. So, today we're going to talk about in the moment fears and future fears, because everyone has those in the moment fears, like in this one, a sudden unexpected sound, like from behind you. So in the moment kind of fears, and then future fears, like what might be taking place, what could happen, and maybe like where you're going or something. And then we're going to talk about how does your body feel. So the feelings you get when you get fearful. And then finally, we're going to pull out a really great skill that I use. That it's a great coping skill that I think is great for both in the moment and also like in the future. So that's called check the facts, and it's specifically a DBT skill. So let's get into it, right? So there are different kinds of fears. There's ones that happen right in the moment that you get nervous, like something might hurt you, or something is threatening to hurt you or to a loved one. And then there are the like future fears where you're like studying for a test and you're so afraid you're going to fail that test. So there's a lot of different ways that you can feel fear. And so I put a couple in here, so it'll give you an idea of what these kinds of fears are. So when you're in the moment and you're feeling fear, you can figure out, is it something that's happening right in the present, right now, or is it something that I'm just not looking forward to and I'm really scared is going to happen? Okay, so in the moment type fears are, like I said, a sudden unexpected sound like behind you, like a car backfires or something like that. You're afraid that something might actually hit you. Like a rock was thrown or something and is coming really close to you. Maybe you fear right in that moment of being alone. You're in your home alone, and you're feeling nervous and anxious, and you just want somebody to come home and be home with you. Performing in front of people is a big one for me, but I actually have gotten used to that. So I have used skills to help with the fear that I get when I am going to do a talk, or I'm going to meet a lot of new people and I have to do like presentation. And then being in the dark is another one that people have. That's a big fear. So those are just a few of the in the moment fears. Future fears, going to a place that you don't like, that maybe something happened there before, or something happened to someone and you don't want to go there because you're afraid what might happen. Maybe like I said, doing poorly on a test. You've been studying and studying and you still feel as though you may, do badly on that particular test. Seeing someone who hurt you. You're afraid that if you go someplace, you might run into somebody that was maybe really unkind to you, very mean to you. Going somewhere that you don't know, that can be really scary, and thinking about it on the way or thinking about it before you even leave, that you get that like anxious feeling, like you just, you don't think you want to go there. And then also worrying about getting sick, which I think is a really big one for us that could also, during this time, during COVID times, I feel as though that is both a present and a future fear, because think about it, with COVID, in the beginning, it was so easy to get it and nobody knew how to really stop it or curb it. And, we're still in that. And I think our bodies still feel that fear that we may get sick. So those are just a few of the ideas of things that will make you fearful. Next, I want to talk about how does your body feel in that moment. And I think this is a really, really important one, because we tend to get body cues when we're feeling a certain emotion. And it is a great way to figure out which emotion you're actually feeling. So with fear, we have certain feelings, like you get stomach ache, your heart is racing, you're out of breath because you may be holding it or you just was breathing really, really quickly. Your body gets really tight. I do this a lot when I'm nervous, when I'm anxious and scared. My whole body just seems to get so tight. Clenching your teeth is another. Like my jaw gets really, really tight, and you can hear it click when I've held it there for so long. You can feel like a lump in your throat, like you maybe can't speak because you're scared to, and then wanting to run away. Your body, you think that your mind has that specific thing. That's the thing that your mind does. It causes you to make that decision to run. But sometimes bodies have a fight or flight, what we call it, especially with the emotion of fear. And your body could have this feeling like it wants to move away. So those are just some of the feelings that you get when you feel fearful, anxious, scared, all those kind of things. Finally, I'm bringing out one of my favorite skills. I do this one all the time because I spoke about this before. You can have primary emotions and then secondary emotions. And what happens is you can have a primary emotion, but because of the way that you deal with it, you tend to jump to a different emotion to make up for it. So sometimes if I'm fearful, I tend to get angry. So I have that original feeling, and then I jump straight to anger because I feel like I have to fight. It's that fight or flight. So that's an emotion. That's a way that you can handle certain emotions like fear going into anger. And the same thing can happen with anger. Maybe when you get angry, you get really scared that you're that angry. And so you're feeling fear. So one of the great ways to work through this is a skill called check the facts. Okay? So in check the facts, we want to do a few of these things to make sure that we're feeling the actual feeling we should be feeling in that moment. Okay? This one's really good, so definitely listen in. What happened or will happen? So let's pick something. Let's say that you're home alone and the lights go out and it's totally black in the house, and you did not expect it at all. It just suddenly happened. There was no rain, there was nothing. You just lost all your lights and now you're sitting in the dark. And how does that make you feel? What do I think happened or will happen? So with the lights going out, it happened. But what will happen because the lights went out? What could make you be feeling that stomach ache, that tightness in your body when it just happened? Will this really hurt me? This is a very, very good question when it comes to fear. Okay, you can ask different questions for different emotions, but for this emotion, I pick, will this really hurt me? Okay, so you're in your house, the whole place is black, you're nobody's home with you, and you don't know exactly what to do to keep yourself safe. So what will really happen is, well, maybe as this is going on, as it's the lights are out, that you can stay where you are and be safe, right? Or you can go to a room to get a flashlight or something like that. What is the worst that could happen? Okay, so what's the worst thing that could happen if your lights go out and you're home alone the whole time? Well, means, let's see, what's off? You have no TV. Maybe your phone wasn't plugged in, so you don't have any juice left in your phone, or your iPad, or whatever it is. Or like you could feel like you can't move, you can't leave that spot that you're in for fear that you could get hurt, maybe falling over something. Okay? Does how I feel right now actually fit with the situation. Okay, so the lights went out. You're home, and your home is safe, right? So what what are you really feeling in this moment? Are you feeling scared that, like somebody will come in the house because the lights are out? And if you've been watching scary movies like I have, maybe you really feel that way, right? But you could also think about it and say, okay, what am I really feeling? Am I feeling those stomach aches, those heart races, right? Is my body getting tight? Am I clenching my teeth? These type of things that are the things that you do when you get scared, right? Now, if not, if you're like, well, actually, no, I'm not feeling those things. Maybe you're feeling a different primary emotion when it comes to the lights going out and you're alone and there's, nothing you can do because you got to sit there in the dark. Maybe you're feeling frustrated. Maybe you're angry that it happened because you were in the middle of something and now you can't do it. So is it really fear that you were feeling all along, or is it that you feel angry? Like maybe a low-grade angry, like I said, frustrated, stressed, that kind of thing. So those are great ways to figure out exactly what you're feeling and why you're feeling it. And I know this was like a very low on the stress level type example, but it's good to use this method so that you can figure out exactly what is the threat, what is going to happen, what's the worst that could happen, and is that something that could be likely, right? And then at the very end is like, well, am I really scared about this, or am I really annoyed, right? So that I would love for everyone to take a moment to really just take a look at this, maybe print it out. I'm going to put all of these on Facebook to print out, and I'll put them up on my website to print out, along with the ones that I did last week, so that you can have an idea of, like, maybe print this out. Put this on your fridge or somewhere where your child, spends a lot of time, like the living room, and when they start to get upset, you have this to go through and figure out what they're really feeling and if it fits the situation, right? Okay, so that is today's Moody Talk, and we are excited to read tomorrow for Moody Story Time, and I will see you guys later. I'll see you guys probably in the next few days. Well, yeah.